Electric cars work differently from diesel-powered cars in this regard. Simple lack of a petrol tank or fuel gauge and reliance on electricity for power generation account for this. You must be aware of how EV motors operate if you want to choose the most powerful one. And so, what is the most powerful EV motor for your vehicle? Here are the top 8 most powerful electric motors as of this time. Number 8. Lucid Air Dream Edition Performance, 1,111 horsepower and 1,025 pound-feet of torque. The top-of-the-line model and the one that introduced the Air to the public is the Lucid Air Dream Edition. The Air Dream Edition comes in 2 groundbreaking models, performance and range, and it is only available in 520 units. The Dream Range maximizes range, while the Dream Performance is built for speed and acceleration. With its dual motor configuration, the Air Dream Performance has a range of 471 miles and a combined output of 1,111 horsepower and 1,025 pound-feet of torque. Although it is capable of reaching speeds of above 200 miles per hour, its top speed has been set at 168 miles per hour. It accelerates from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 2.4 seconds. The Lucid Air Dream Edition costs $169,000, however you should be aware that it is already sold out before making a purchase. Number 7. Lucid Air Sapphire, 1,200 horsepower torque TBA. The Air was first unveiled by Lucid in 2020, and production didn't start until late 2021. The Air poses one of the biggest dangers to Tesla with a 520-mile maximum range. Lucid introduced the Air Sapphire at the 2022 Monterey Car Week, which added to the intrigue. With a combined 1,200 horsepower, the Sapphire's tri-motor powertrain is the most sophisticated offered by Lucid, which is a major improvement over the Air's initial 480 horsepower. The Air Sapphire, a direct rival to the Tesla Model S Plaid, can accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.87 seconds, and reach a high speed of 205 miles per hour while maintaining a range of more than 200 miles. Prices will start at $250,000, and only a limited number will be built. Number 6. NIO EP9, 1,341 horsepower and 1,091 pound-feet of torque, a Chinese-made battery-powered sports automobile called the EP9 Electric Performance 9 was initially revealed in 2016. 4 separate electric motors, or MGUs, one at each wheel, provide the supercar with its power. 1 megawatt, or 1,341 horsepower and 1,091 pound-feet of torque, is the maximum amount of power they can together produce. Lithium-ion batteries that have a 265-mile range supply the electric motors with power. With a top speed of 194.5 miles per hour, the NIO EP9 can sprint from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 2.6 seconds. The North Loop lap time for the NIO EP9 at the Nürburgring was under 6 minutes, 45 seconds. A very small number of individuals will be able to enjoy the EP9 on the track, while it is not a vehicle that is allowed on public roads. Number 5. Tesla Roadster, 1,475 horsepower and 7,300 pound-feet of torque. Like the Cybertruck, Tesla first revealed the second-generation Roadster in 2017, but it has yet to go into production. However, Elon Musk promised that the first deliveries will begin in 2023, so we should finally see the automobile this year. The Roadster has a tri-motor configuration, with 1 electric motor in the front and 2 in the back. 1,475 horsepower and more than 7,300 pound-feet of torque should be produced by the system as a whole. Despite Tesla's boasts, the latest generation Roadster will accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 1.9 seconds with an optional SpaceX package. The model will also be equipped with a 200 kilowatt-hour battery, which ought to provide a 620-mile range. We should know by the end of 2023 if all these estimates are accurate. Number 4. Pininfarina Battista, 1,900 horsepower and 1,726 pound-feet of torque, the Battista will be the first model in the Italian manufacturer's lineup and is named after Pininfarina founder Battista Pininfarina. Although Pininfarina's atelier in Combiono, northern Italy, will be the site of the hand-built supercar's design and construction, it is not entirely Italian. Four liquid-cooled permanent magnet synchronous electric motors are installed at each wheel of the Italian supercar, which, like the Nevera, receives its electric drivetrain from Reliance. In total, they provide 1,900 horsepower and 1,726 pound-feet of torque for the Battista. The Battista is quicker than the Nevera despite having a 14 horsepower disadvantage. It can go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 1.79 seconds, and from 0 to 120 miles per hour in 4.49 seconds. With a starting price of almost $2 million, the Battista will only be produced in 150 units. Number 3. Reliance Nevera, 1,914 horsepower and 1,741 pound-feet of torque. The C2 concept, which later became the Reliance Nevera, made its debut at the 2018 Geneva Motor Show. The Nevera was launched in mid-2021 after intensive testing and refinement took 3 years for Reliance to complete for the commercial version. The business abandoned the C2 moniker in favor of Nevera, a more fitting name for such a potent and quick EV. Nevera is Croatian for sudden and short storms. At each wheel are 4 liquid-cooled permanent magnet synchronous electric motors that together provide 1,914 horsepower and 1,741 pound-feet of torque to power the Nevera. It has a sprint time of just 1.9 seconds from 0 to 60 miles per hour and 3.61 seconds from 0 to 100 miles per hour. The Nevera achieved a top speed of 258 miles per hour in November 2022, making it the fastest EV in the world. The highest speed will, however, be restricted to 219 miles per hour for regular customers for safety reasons. Number 2. Lotus Evija, 1,971 horsepower and 1,254 pound-feet of torque. The Lotus Evija is the British company's first electric vehicle to hit the market. According to Lotus, Evija is the ideal name for the supercar because it signifies alive or leaving in biblical Hebrew. The Evija was intended to be the most powerful electric car in the world when it was first introduced, with a target output of 1,500 kilowatt 2011 horsepower. A total of 1,470 kilowatt 1,971 horsepower and 1,254 pound-feet of torque are produced by the supercars for electric motors, though the Evija is still regarded as one of the most powerful EVs in the world. The Evija can sprint from 0 to 60 miles per hour in less than 3 seconds, and from 0 to 186 miles per hour in less than 9 seconds. 200 miles per hour is the maximum speed allowed for the Evija. The price of the Evija model starts at $2.3 million, and only 130 will be made. Number 1. A Spark Owl, 1,984 horsepower and 1,475 pound-feet of torque. The Spark Owl is the first fully electric hypercar ever built in Japan, and it was created specifically to have the fastest acceleration of any electric vehicle. The concept model debuted in 2017, and the production model debuted at the 2019 Dubai International Motor Show 2 years later. The Owl is powered by 4 electric motors, 2 of which are mounted on the front axle and 2 on the back. A total of 1,984 horsepower and 1,475 pound-feet of torque are produced by them. 280 miles of range are offered with a 69 kilowatt-hour battery. The Owl, according to a Spock, has a sprint time of 1.69 seconds from 0 to 60 miles per hour and 10.6 seconds from 0 to 186 miles per hour. An astonishing 249 miles per hour is the top speed. Only 50 Spark Owl units are being produced. Having said that, do you love what you just saw? Let us know your thoughts in the comment box below. If you've watched up to this point, thank you so much. For more videos about EVs, Toyota, Tesla, Ford, and the most recent auto news, please consider subscribing to Tech Addicts.